Hello, brothers and sisters. Today we will be doing a short study on the meaning of the term Antipas, found in the book of Revelation in chapter 2, verses 12 through 14. A lot of Christians think Antipas is a literal name, and then it gets confusing, and that's just not so. So let's get into it. The book of Revelation chapter 2 and verses 12 through 14 says, "And to the angel of the church in Pergamos write, These things saith he which hath the sharp sword with two edges. I know thy works, and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is. And thou holdest fast my name, and hast not denied my faith. Even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you, where Satan dwelleth. But I have a few things against thee, because thou hast there them that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication." Now we are looking at the church of Pergamos, which was the church of the day around 312 AD to 606 AD. At this time, there was a lot of wickedness going on around the church, and unfortunately, the church started to compromise. But take a look at this time period. Around this time, Constantine the Great rose to power and decided he wanted to be a Christian and started bringing paganism into the church. Also, during this time period, an age of darkness began, and this is called the Dark Ages. That began in 538 AD and went on for 1,260 years. During this time, millions and millions of God's faithful people were murdered by this Roman Catholic power, which is where Satan's seat is. In fact, I want you to take a look at the book of Revelation chapter 13, verses 1 and 2. "And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority." The dragon, representing Satan, gave papal Rome his power, seat, and great authority. This is where Satan's seat is, Rome. And Rome persecuted millions of Christians. Jesus is saying here in Revelation 2, verse 13, that his people held fast to his name and were faithful even unto death. Jesus called this faithful martyr Antipas. Antipas wasn't one person. Antipas is derived from 2 words. These 2 words are anti and pater. Pater means father, so they were anti-father. There was only one man called Holy Father, brothers and sisters, and guess where he is, friends? Vatican City, Rome. The Pope himself. These faithful followers were martyred because they were against the dogmas of the Roman Catholic Church. Brothers and sisters, I only have one Father, and he resides in heaven, not some pagan priesthood full of murderers and rapists. Listen, the book of Matthew in chapter 23 and verse 9 says, "And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven." Antipapa, anti-pope, anti-papacy. The Pope is not your father. A priest is not your father. They are no more holier than some murderer in prison. And Satan dwells within this priesthood. They keep the truth from the people. They twist scriptures to fit their dogmas. God points his divine finger at the Roman Catholic Church, and this is filth. He says, "Come out from among them, and receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven." This beast power will be judged. Satan hates God, and he hates his laws. That's why Satan raised up this power to destroy God's people. Satan hates you and wants to see you suffer. The book of Revelation chapter 12 and verse 17 says, "And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God, and have the testimony of Jesus Christ." Friends, very shortly from now, when the mark of the beast is enforced, you must either accept the mark or die. Those who fail to remember their past are doomed to repeat it. A wise man once said, "There is no new thing under the sun." What has happened to Antipas during the church of Pergamos and through the dark ages for 1,260 years is going to take place again. Enforced Sunday worship. We've studied about that, haven't we? Jesus is coming soon, my friends. This is John Tinsley with Everlasting Rock Ministries, and always remember, the truth never fails. God bless you all.